Hello, folks. One more time. Jim Voss atop the garage in the man cave with a few changes in scenery. Another broadcast of Just My Opinion. Been off for about a week now, trying to get the repairs done to the ceiling where we inadvertently, that's a good word, I like that, it's 8 cylinders, inadvertently created a shower in our kitchen, which we didn't need. Anyhow, whole ceiling falls in thousands and thousands of dollars. So, with that being said, I do have some juicy ones for you. Excuse me while I take a sip. Very good. I'm addicted to Diet Coke. I know it's bad for me. Everything's bad for me. Everything I love in this world is either illegal, immoral, or fattening. Hillary, excuse me, Madam Lard Ass, gets any bigger, she's going to have 2 cracks. Hillary has put another one 6 feet under. How many more bodies have to come about until at least they get charged with, at least suspicion? They're never going to be charged with even suspicion as long as the DAs and the attorneys, no one even thinks to point a finger. And for being in law enforcement for 45 years, sometimes when you don't want to implicate the wrong person, in other words, they may be on the list, the wrong person with all the power and all the money, you just call it a suicide. Well, Mark Middleton, like I said, was the front man for money for the Clinton organization. I don't care if you're a first-year coroner and you're failing, you're bottom of your class, first-year investigator, first day on the job, and you got transferred from another department because you're too damn stupid to figure out chicken or the egg, tree in the forest, that kind of thing. This guy hanged himself out in the woods. Okay, that's a plausible suicide. Plenty of people hang themselves. When you say, he was hung, well, it could have several connotations, but right now we're talking about a rope, not the other one. I always wondered about a hung jury. It had to be all men. Well, yeah. Anyhow, so this guy's hanging out in the trees in the forest, in a place far away from his home. That too is not too bad. But you see, there's certain things you couldn't do before hanging yourself. Let's say that I had no arms. I couldn't hang myself. If I had only one arm, I still couldn't hang myself. Or it would be real hard. If you had one leg, you couldn't be in an ass-kicking contest. Those kinds of things. Not only was this guy hanging from a tree. Here it comes. Wait for it. Don't waste his hand. I'm going to screw you with this other one. He was shot in the chest with a double-barrel shotgun. Really? You can't do one without the other. Okay? You can't shoot yourself in the chest with a double-barrel shotgun, blow away half your chest, and then turn around and hang yourself. You also can't hang yourself and blow your chest away after you've already asphyxiated. I think in order to do that, you would put the rope around your waist to be asphyxiated. Bad joke. Okay. And they ruled it a suicide. You find a guy in the bottom of the river with cement around his feet and logging chains for the weight. And then he's been shot 6 times, and you tell the coroner it's the worst case of suicide I've ever seen. damn, who investigates this stuff and then comes up and says, and you don't hear it. It's not going to be on the news. You can bank on that. It's not going to be on the news. And how many dead bodies does Hillary have to have in order for someone to say, this is a pattern? The guy at the Rose Law Firm who outed her for lying as an attorney ends up dead. The land deals, people end up dead. Anytime that Hillary gets booted from a post, somebody gets to meet Jesus early. So I don't know. Second one is, I got it right 4 months ago. Rudy Poot in Russia has cancer. It was easy to come to that conclusion because he had like 40 visits from an oncologist in a year. But once again, you didn't hear it anywhere on the news. So he's got about a year to live. Now, I'm a cancer 4 survivor. I'm a stage 4 survivor. And it's easy for me to spot those people that are fighting that battle. First of all, the loss of color. The loss of the color in the skin, the bloated face from the first starts of the chemos, and things like that. So it's easy to find out. Now, when you're on chemo, you're not exactly there, shall we say, totally. My cancer was so bad I had a little pack that I carried on my hip that gave me chemo 24/7. That's some bad crap. I ain't lying to you. So why is he still in charge? He's going to be in charge. Well, the communists have a bad habit of doing something when it comes to death. When they thought that Ting Tong Bing Bong up in North Korea, Kim Jong-il, they thought that he was dead and that they were using body doubles. And then all of a sudden he resurfaced. Of course, we don't know if that's a body double or not because the body double's got different color hair, different haircut, different build. You plan on that theory yourself, but frankly, I don't give a rat's shit. He could do a lot of damage in a year. Now, he's not going to abdicate the throne at all. So we always look at who's going to be the second in charge that will move up the food chain. Oh, in our case, we got the head of the International Clown Association, Madam Cackle. Oh, God. We have no second choice. His second choice has been quiet for like 5 years. I mean, you don't ever see him. You don't ever hear from him. Well, yesterday he came out with very, very strong verbiage against the West. That's us. We're the infidels always. Telling us we need to mind our own damn business or there would be serious consequences. Now, if you look real close, there's a slit in the back of his suit. And that's where Putin slips his hand in, and moves the mechanics and it kind of gets him to talk. But anyhow, that's the word from the Russian front. Let me tell you how you'll know by the end of the year if Putin is dead or not. If the November elections don't kill him off, he's still alive. Because you see, the November elections will put Biden in a pigeonhole, and he will be totally useless as a lame duck president. Now, that's an oxymoron there. Being totally useless, there will not be any change from the operations of today. But he'll still be in office. They'll prop him up even if he dies. They're not going to have Kamala. I can't ever say it. I'll just call it Camel Toe Harris, Headboard Harris, the layaway plan Harris. That's who we got for second on the batter's box. I mean, that's who's up to hit. Joe don't even know he's in the stadium, and she couldn't hit a baseball, She couldn't come out with one good straight sentence. That's how I think they're related. I think they're really related. Okay. I have my notes posted up here. That's why I keep looking up. I don't know about you, but please tell me why on national television that someone has their divorce hearing aired. Huh? Hell's bells. There were days, weeks, months of Johnny Depp and his crazy old lady getting a divorce. Divorce happens every day, but it don't end up on national news for 10 hours a day. What the hell is going on here? I like Johnny Depp. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. I did not know Johnny Depp could sing, but he can sing damn well. Yes, he did Hallelujah from the Mount of Olives, and I went, oh shit, he is talented. But to put it on television? Why in the world would we do that? It got higher ratings than the OJ trial, which that was boring as hell. You're sitting there and you're looking at it. It's kind of like when you come home from work and there's garbage all over the floor and your dog looks through you like, what? Wasn't me? Yeah, we knew who did it all along. We were just finding out that they were going to cut him loose. I just don't understand it. And I guess the truth came out, but who decided that we would make this like a reality show? Who wasted our money and made this a reality show? Anyhow, and I'm glad he won. I mean, $3 million non-taxable. That's pretty good. And she has to pay him back $1 million. So how does this work? Does he cough up the $3 million first, and then she just rebates him $1 million, and so he ends up with $2 million, and she ends up with squat? Or does he have to? I don't know. Never mind. Or if he says, "Okay, here's $2 million, keep the other $1 million, and I'll owe you whatever." I don't know. But there has to be some changes in D.C., and right now, these are the changes. Joe Biden has accepted, I understand from my people at D.C., Joe Biden has accepted the nomination and says he will fight hard to win as head of the Toastmasters General. Doing Toastmastering all over the world, introducing people. His only question when interviewed was, how many stars comes with the Toastmaster General position? It's a bad joke, I know. Nancy Pelosi is now the head of Alcoholics Anonymous. She will receive this commission, this appointment, shall we say, later on this month. She will be known as the Carrie Nation of the Drunks. For those of you who are not very old, will never remember who Carrie Nations is anyhow. She was a fighter for prohibition in the anti-boozer way back in the, I don't know if that's 30s or 40s or whenever that was. Jerry Nadler, if you've ever seen Jerry Nadler from out behind the desk, he wears his pants up right about his man boobs. And he has lost a ton of weight and a ton of hair to go with it. But he just looks like something that we all saw in a movie many, many, many years ago. But I understand that District of Columbia, D.C., is putting on a new production of The Wizard of Oz. And he is going to be the head Oompa Loompa. And if you can just imagine him in your head of how he looks now, I don't think he'll have to worry about too much time in makeup. And the last major change that's going to happen is Maxine Waters has now accepted the nomination to be the head of the D.C. Zoo. And they interviewed the head silverback at the zoo, and he said, home at last, home at last. Not running slow, but running fast. You can go home again. It was a tear-jerking interview. It really, really was. And that guy had the last part on the rise of the Planet Apes. Um, not McDowell's from Cousin or anything like that. You know, I want to talk about relationships for a minute, and then we'll be done. Have you ever known someone that when you met them for the very, very, very first time, you instantly fell in love with them? The very first time you laid eyes on them, you fell in love with them. And you could trust them. And you knew them. You knew down deep that it was not a bad bone in that person's body. You were limited to your exposure to this person, though. You couldn't be with them all the time. And so you took one brief, fleeting moment, and you were only allowed to see them once a year. You trusted them, never asked them for anything. You always wished for certain things when you were with them. And every time you would think of them, no matter whether it was rainy and dreary outside or snowy and cold, always brought warmth to your heart. You always met at the same place, at the same time. And you always waited with anticipation, wondering if you were going to get to see them one more time. Just to have a few moments of happiness and love and giving and receiving. I just want to remind you, it is 192 days of shopping till Christmas. I love you, Santa. From a little tiny boy, I always have. And I always trusted you, whether you brought me what I wanted or whether you didn't. And I remember falling asleep in the doorway to the living room when I was but 5 years old, waiting to see Santa come. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to put that much trust in just one person who represents us in D.C.? That you absolutely knew for sure that if you turned your back on them, it wouldn't end up with a knife in it. Just one person that would make you feel secure, that when you went to bed at night, you knew good and well that person was burning the midnight oil and working for you. Only you? No. You and thousands of other people just like you. I love that. Who do you trust? In today's, I guess in today's arena, I can't think of anyone. You can trust Jesus Christ. That's easy. I think I can trust Santa Claus. That's pretty easy. But beyond the Mason-Dixon line, when you get up around D.C., I don't trust one person up there. Not one. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah. And I don't believe there's one just person left in D.C. That's it. I hope I brought you some tidbits of good news. I'll be doing some research over the next 2 or 3 days, and we'll have some factual stuff for you. And I'm going to get into the hidden push of Biden to go to wind, solar, and air. Until then, This has been just my opinion. Today it's been kind of soggy and wet with a little tear here and there. Not politically correct, but baby, I'm always correct. I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken. I love you. I mean it. We're still going to have that beer. And when I say I love you, you know who I'm talking to, right? You. Yeah, you right there. Remember? Remember so many years ago when I saw you for the first time? Night, Santa. I love you guys. Take care. Jim Voss, just my opinion, from high above the garage, Aiken, South Carolina. We're going to close it out at about 21 minutes. I love you, gang. Take care of yourself.